You simply cannot be shamed by facts. They're just facts.
You gotta be so good that they can't ignore you, especially the ones that ain't done shit for you. Yeah, you know exactly what I mean. They stab you in the back and then they ask why you're bleeding. I don't trust words, I trust actions. I don't care what you heard, I'm not slacking.
My name is Alan Roberts. This is Everyday Fitness. Like, subscribe, click the notification bell right over here, and share my videos. Subscribe to my second channel, Alan Roberts, in my opinion, of course, going to bone, both in all those places. We are about to have a very real, very frank talk about diabetes, obesity, the BMI, its future, our future, all sorts of things. These are just statistics and facts. Statistics and facts, that's all they are. Where I got them is going to be linked in the description box below, mostly from diabetes.org. You can check it out yourself, and I normally don't even link stuff like that, but I just want to make sure that everybody understands. I'm not just making this shit up. These are just facts. We need to take a very serious look at how we are, how we are dealing with this epidemic, which is tied to our obesity epidemic also, because not only is it horrible for people, is it causing misery for many, many, many people. It is one of the things we talk about very, very little for some reason. It gets brought up very, very, very little, probably because people are making serious money off of it, like people that produce insulin medications, diabetes medications, things like that. People are making a lot of money off of it. So we don't talk about it in such a negative light, and the fat acceptance community and the healthy at every size bullshit and all that stuff tends to line up with that, even though many of them would apply here. And again, not meant to shame you. If facts shame you, if reading of statistics and facts shames you, you cannot blame the facts. And I'm only the angry bald man reading it. It could be a 6-year-old girl with a lollipop in her hand. If she reads these, it is still true. It does not matter. It does not. The messenger does not matter. It is still true. Diabetes in our country was the 7th leading cause of death in the United States in 2015. This finding is based off of 79,535 death certificates in which diabetes was listed as the underlying cause of death. The crude rate was 24.7 per 100,000 people. Diabetes was listed as any cause of death on 252,806 death certificates in 2015. That's 78.7 per 100,000 persons. That is a huge number. The cost of this is crazy. The total direct and indirect estimated cost of diagnosed diabetes in the United States in 2012 was $245 billion. An average medical expenditure for people with diagnosed diabetes were about $13,700 a year. About $7,900 of this was attributed to diabetes. After adjusting for the age group and sex, average medical expenditures among people with diagnosed diabetes were about 2.3 times higher than expenditures for people without diabetes. Overall numbers of diabetes and prediabetes, the prevalence in 2015, 30.3 million Americans, or 9.4% of the population, had diabetes. Approximately only 1.25 million of that in children and adults have type 1. The prevalence in seniors is very, very high. It's about 25.5%, or 12 million of them. New cases, 1.5 million Americans are diagnosed with diabetes every year. Pre-diabetes, which means you will have diabetes, or unless you make radical changes to your life, you will have diabetes within the next 5 years. In 2015, 84.1 million Americans age 18 and older had prediabetes. With 84.1 million people having prediabetes in 2015, the number of people that actually have diabetes could quadruple in 5 years. Quadruple. If we already spend $237 billion a year on diabetes, $237 billion on diabetes, and it quadruples, we're looking at $1 trillion in shared healthcare costs. And I've talked about this before in other videos. I just want to give some other statistics that make this so crazy, because for some reason, we have decided to unlink the obvious and viably true statistic and fact that obesity increases your risk of diabetes a tremendous amount. How obesity contributes to diabetes? People with a BMI above 30 are 80 times more likely to develop type 2 diabetes than other people with BMI under 22. Why is this? If we look more closely, it isn't necessarily the weight itself that contributes to diabetes, but where it is stored in the body. Body fat can be classified according to two locations, visceral and subcutaneous. Visceral fat is stored inside the belly area and wraps around the walls of the internal organs, which means it can't easily be removed by typical diets or exercise. Subcutaneous fat is found right underneath the skin and is what you can physically measure when taking your waist circumference, the so-called love handles. Visceral fat is the type that increases the risk of developing serious health problems such as diabetes. While subcutaneous fat isn't as dangerous in general when it comes to the belly area, both types of fat are present, so a growing belly can be a sign that you're at risk of getting diabetes. Diabetes risk by weight circumference. I found this very interesting. For those of you that are about to say the BMI is a horrible measure, for men, anything below 37 inches is seen as lower risk. High is 37 to 40 inches, and very high is greater than 40 inches. And for women, it's 31.5 or less. 31.5 to 5 is high, and greater than 35 waist circumference does mean you're at very high risk for diabetes. I understand that people are going to say, well, BMI, my BMI is high or this, that, but it's because I have muscle weight on you. I get that. I totally understand what you're saying. And I do believe to a certain degree that holds some water, because I've personally known people that have naturally larger frames and naturally larger muscle mass, and they work out very, very hard, and they're probably in the overweight range. When you get into the 30 BMI, just to be honest, you're reaching probably the natural limit of most people, because it is based off of your height too. I've been 35 BMI before, and I had plenty of fat on me. I was very, very strong, much stronger than I am now, but I was definitely not healthy, and I've said it multiple times. I was making the mistake of keeping extra weight on just so I could be strong. That's not what you want to do. Now, right now, I'm probably about between 28 and 29 BMI, and I am probably at the upper end of my genetic limit when it comes to muscle mass on my larger frame, because I do have genetically very wide shoulders. Still, very honestly, when I was 180 pounds last summer, because I'm about 200 to 205 right now. When I was 180 pounds last summer, I did feel even a little better than I do now. So I do, I kind of ebb and flow, because I try to make sure I maintain my muscle mass, and then I try to diet down for the summer, just like most normal bros. But I can't say that none of that matters at all, because these statistics were based off of just BMI. So while people can say you can't judge if somebody's healthy or not by their BMI, these statistics were taken just with BMI at its face level. So if you have a BMI over 30, you are 80 times more likely to get diabetes than a person with that has a BMI of 22 or under. You just are. It is statistics. It is fact. It is not arguable. Now, you may be in the smaller realm of that. However, you are pushing you are pushing the limits. And to be at 30 BMI is a rather large number. We're going to take a look at this. To be at 30 BMI, if you are 70 inches tall, that is 208.6 pounds. That is a little more than I am. So that's where I'm right about 28 or 29. If you're, say, a 5'5" woman, it's 180 pounds, 179.9 pounds. A 5-foot person, that's 153.3 pounds. There are very few people that are at that weight, that are at those heights, that are in any way healthy. Just very, very few. You're very, very small. And we're going to go over the statistics of where people are at, in general when it comes to weight. But you can honestly look at this at 35 BMI. That's 243 pounds. It's right around where I was before. I can tell you for a fact, I felt extremely unhealthy at that weight. I really did. It was taking a toll not only on my joints, but definitely I was getting sleep apnea and stuff like that. I was worried, very worried. If you look at 40, a 5'10" person that is 278.2 pounds, I do not care if you are at 8% body fat or 9% body fat. If you weigh 278 pounds and you're 5'10", you are unhealthy. Period. That is not healthy for you, because even if you are at that muscle mass, first of all, how did you get to that muscle mass of 5'10"? Everybody can make their guesses. But that type of muscle mass is such a load on your heart. Muscle is actually a higher cardiac load than fat, because it has more veins, more vesicles, everything like that. So your heart has to pump harder to pump blood to muscle mass than it does fat. It's just fact, So if you're 278 pounds at 5'10", you're not healthy. I don't care what you are, unless you are like the 0.111.00001 genetic anomaly, you're at very, very, very high risk, period. I mean, can we not, we can hopefully get rid of these arguments. If you're a 300-pound person, you're 5'10", you're close to 45 BMI. You are not healthy. You are not. Nothing you can say makes it so you are healthy. There's no such thing as healthy at every size. None. You are putting yourself at massive increased risks of developing not only diabetes, which is a huge problem that we don't talk about for some reason, which is why I made this video, but you're putting yourself at massive increased risk for other issues. Osteoarthritis, 13, 14 different types of cancer you're increasing your risk for. You are not healthy at that size. You are going to get diabetes. And I am amazed at how many people I personally even know that are on diabetes medications that still completely abuse their body. Diabetes causes people to get necrosis in their feet. I mean, it causes horrible, horrible issues. When you see somebody that you know is on diabetes medications eating a cupcake, that is very similar to a person that has lung cancer that is smoking a cigarette through their tracheotomy. That is what that is. We just seem to have accepted it as it being okay. We seem to have accepted that, well, you just are on insulin and you have diabetes. So many people have it and so many people are going to have it. A third of the country is scheduled to have diabetes in the next 5 years. That's insanity. It has become such a thing, or such a commonplace thing that we are accepting this type of thing as if it is not horrific to see somebody that is on diabetes medication eat like crap and not do something to try to improve their health. I feel for you. I do, but these are just facts and statistics. If you are on diabetes medication, change your lifestyle. Become active. Watch what you eat. Cut sugars out of your diet. Hire an in-person coach. Hire a trainer. Do whatever you can do to get healthy, because this is not what you deserve. That is the problem. When it becomes accepted that it is just okay to be obese, which does obviously, by statistics, lead to increased cases of diabetes and other illnesses. When it seems like it's just okay, people are hurting themselves. That is a form of self-harm. When you see a person that is pre-diabetic eat cake or eat a candy bar, that is a form of self-harm. Period. It absolutely is. It's a form of self-harm. We have, in this country, 43.5% of adults are over 30 BMI. 17.8% of adults have a BMI of over 40. I can guarantee you that a very, 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 very small amount of them is because of their muscle mass. And that's just a damn shame. My name's Alan Roberts. Hit me up on Instagram at EverydamnDayFitness. Hit me up on Twitter at EverydamDayFitness. I'm also on Facebook at EverydamDayFitness. And on the internet at EverydamDayFitness.net. We need to do something about this $1 trillion in shared costs. God damn.